What is up, guys? I'm going to be upgrading the sound system on my boat. We are going to go from the original 2 speakers that I had on here to a full complete system with amplifier, head unit, subwoofer from Wet Sounds, and that is the sponsor of today's video. I'm going to show you how I install it on my boat. I've gone ahead and already taken out the 2 speakers that I have here that are on the bulkhead that separates back up in here. Kind of gone in there and started changing out wires and things like that, just going over everything just to make sure all the wires and stuff are good. I'm going to start organizing some of those wires in there as well. I'm really excited for this. I'm not too big on music and things like that, but I've noticed that when I'm running the boat, I can barely hear the music when I'm running, and it's kind of nice to be able to listen to music while you're running the boat. So let me finish taking this thing apart, and we'll do an unboxing in a second, just so we can see all the cool stuff we have. We're gonna have to do some reinforcements to the center console, because this center console doesn't have any coring material on it. So we're gonna have to create some type of material where we can put the subwoofer and then the other speakers that go in here, so it doesn't rattle everything apart. All right, so let's go ahead and take out. These are the 6.5s. That's cool. They have the RGB lighting as well. Cool deal. So we got our 4 speakers. So we're gonna put 2 back in place of these guys here where the original speakers were, and then I'm thinking about placing the other speakers over here on the side somewhere. I gotta make sure that nothing is in the way, like the control box on the other side, so it might have to be mounted somewhere up here. I also have to contend with the amplifier and then the subwoofer as well. The subwoofer I think is going to go up in the front, probably the best place to put it. I really got nowhere else to put it, and it should sound pretty good. Okay, so in the box you have these templates, right? This is for you to cut out your holes, which we already have our holes for this part, but we don't have for the console. So we have some screws there as well. Nice. And these come with different colored grills, which is very nice. They have the black or charcoal, and then they have the white. I think I'm going to stick with the white, just because I think it looks a little cleaner for my particular application. Let's take these white grills out, and let's put these guys over here, and let's take a look at what we got. Okay. All right, we got them to fit. Let's go ahead and screw those down and secure them in there. That's nice and secure. Now let's go ahead and put this bulkhead back up where it's supposed to go, and we'll bolt up all the stuff that was there before. So that's fairly easy. It connects to my old connections there, so that's good. The only thing we got to contend with too is the RGB lights. So like I said, I'm going to leave this bulkhead open. I'm going to make my connections, because I'm going to connect this to the controller that I have for the courtesy lights under here, which are these guys. See these lights? And I can control the lights through that app that has a controller for that. And I can control the same lights in the speakers through that. And I believe I have that controller somewhere here. Right here. This is it. Yeah. So I'm going to have to run those wires to there. So now that we got this thing going, I'm also going to change my breaker. This is a 40 amp breaker. I'm going to put in a 60 to 80 amp breaker, because this thing is going to draw a lot of power when it's at full blast, and I'm going to need a high breaker. So I was recommended 80 by the guys over at Wet Sounds, by Manny. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm pretty sure I have an 80 breaker back in there, but I'm going to change that out. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to organize all this stuff, zip tie it all back together, make it nice and neat. That way it looks nice and clean, since I already have all this off, and then I'll start working on this side. So let me go do that, guys. So I got my stuff tidied up a little bit. I have my switch installed. I use some of the zip ties and some of these braces here so I can hold this stuff down. And now I'm ready to put this all back. So I got rid of the breaker. I didn't have another breaker this style, so what I did was I used the Blue Sea Systems battery post fuse, which connects to an 80 amp fuse right there, and that's what goes to my switch here. So that's what I use instead. So yeah, I'm gonna put all this back, clean up a little bit, kind of tidy up with some more zip ties in the right places, and close this up. Now let's move on to here. I think I'm gonna change the head unit next, so let's go do that. And for those of you wondering, I do have a separate complete system. So the starter battery that I have here is just for the engine. I have this 314 amp hour lithium battery that is just for the house. Okay, so I use this battery just for all my accessories. It's a lot of amperage, a lot of amp hours, so I can use this for days, and it's not gonna waste any, I'm not gonna lose any juice. And then what I do is to charge it, I have a charger, which is this guy over here, battery tender charger, that allows me to charge my lithium and my lead acid battery, and it's fantastic. These two things are really a lifesaver, especially when I'm out there camping for a couple days. If I have a buddy with a generator, I could just charge my batteries, or I can bring a generator with me. I've been charging this already for over 24 hours, so it should be full. I'm going to leave the link for both of these in the description, so you guys can check them out. These are awesome batteries. I really like them, and that battery charger is amazing. It's not a cheap battery. You can actually run it on the water. It's very good. So check those out. It's been a great addition to my skid. And the great thing about these lithium batteries, you can set them. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the console. Let's change out this head unit. And so we're replacing the audio pipe unit, and we're putting the wet sounds system. It looks like it's about the same size. Instructions, guys, and the great thing about wet sounds is it shows you exactly how to install this, and I'll show you in a second. The amplifier actually has a how-to in there, so keep this over here, some wires. There we go. That should slip right in. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this one. Stop this guy out. We're gonna save this. Let's go ahead and put in our wet sounds. Alright, so the hole works. It's good. Perfect. Look at that. That looks really clean. It's a little bigger than the other one, but move it up just like this. I think we're set. Right, so I pulled out my harness here. And basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the old harness. I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to go connecting one by one. So this is the power. This goes to this new harness. It's very straightforward. You have your ground and positive, so I'm going to connect those first because that's the easiest. Just straight to my old wire. Okay, so let me do that and I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, this is the old harness. We're going to get rid of that. We've already connected our power, so positive and negative. It's got a 15 amp fuse in there. So I have my rear left speaker wire, and then I have my front left speaker wire. I haven't installed the speaker yet, but I'm going to put these two together because these guys are going to go straight to the amplifier right over here. Okay, right there. Alright, so we got our left and right speakers for both the front and the rear set up on this, which goes plugged into there. And now I've also gone ahead and set up a separate wire for the subwoofer, which goes like this. It's a positive on the left side and then a negative on the bottom right, and that plugs in here. That's going to go to our sub. These are speaker wires. These are the speaker wires. And then over here, this is our power wires. Remember, we have the red positive and the ground. These are going to be 6-AUG cables. And then this middle one is going to be a cable that goes, or it's going to be a wire that goes to the harness back over here to the amplifier on wire right here. Okay. So we're gonna leave that off to the side. So I've set up the speakers over here. The subwoofer is set up. Now I'm gonna set up my power here. The way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna use some 6-aught cable to connect right to here and to here, and it's gonna run to the amp. So the negative bus bar and then the positive side of this bus bar here. So now I got my negative up here and my 6-aught negative. Okay, I got my 6-aught negative and 6-aught positive. This is gonna go here straight to there. Now I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna mount all of this stuff to. Let's see. A big hole in there, so. Alright, so that fits in there, but I'm gonna use a piece of starboard on the inside as a backing plate and a frame so I can put this thing together. I made a frame out of starboard 3/4 inch. See? Now we're gonna bolt the speaker in here. There. Now we have something to have some bite to put that through. For putting the subwoofer, we need to run these wires through. They run like that. So we got that secured. We're gonna line up. Here, pop pull from the other side.
No, I'll take it tight in it. Nothing feeling along the bottom.
It's not biting it. I will pull it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Try to cover that hole up, but put it out. Let's run the wires. Well, let's open up the holes for the other speakers now. I can put the speaker here. I'm gonna have to modify my harness. Right now I'm taking my wires that go directly from the bus bar, the positive and the negative. I'm gonna connect them to this piece which goes to the actual amplifier. You have a power and you have a ground. And in the middle is that remote that goes to the wire harness, which is this blue wire. This blue wire here. So here I have all the wires that are going to connect to my amp. So all I got to do is place my amp over there, and that's it. So I think I'm going to place my amp now and see how I place. It's going to have to go way back in there. So I know it's a mess. I'm going to organize this after. Got the amp back there. Hard to see, but all the connections are there. And then the RGB. The RGB is really what took up most of the wires. So now I gotta fix this rat nest, but first I gotta test the system. So we got our power. We ran our wire that's from the amplifier up into the harness here, which is that black wire. Now we're gonna connect. We're gonna connect to our head unit. Alright, so connected our harness. Now I gotta run the RCA cables to these units here. Front line out and zone 2. So front line out is gonna be for our speakers, and then zone 2 is gonna be for the sub. So let's do that. Alright, I just turned this on. Nothing's on fire. Let's set it up. Let's go to Bluetooth. Here it is, so I gotta mess with this. Alright guys, so I went ahead and wired everything. I used this wire here. I got at a Capitan. This wire comes with all the colors. You know, orange, brown, red, blue, black, green, white. And it's a lot easier than using the actual duplex 14 gauge wire. It's much better. I organized the wires a little bit back there. I still got to come in here and really organize well. So there's a moment of truth. Let's turn this thing on and see if these lights turn on. And now we have lights back here. Our speaker lights are on. We have our lights. And then I have my app. This app is actually pretty cool because you can adjust. It's the Vista app, so it's a one Vista controller. So I had two controllers originally. I had to take the one in the back out, and I had to reconnect and rewire or get a new wire coming back here from the controller. And now everything worked pretty great. It's a cool little app. You can adjust the colors, get all the colors of the spectrum. Now let's see how this thing sounds. Now I'm not gonna play it for too long because you know, I don't want to get demonetized on YouTube. But big shout out to Wet Sounds. If you guys are local, you can check out a Capitan. They carry Wet Sounds, or you could go to Wet Sounds website. I'm working on a discount code for you guys. I'll have that in the description below for you. Let's do a quick clip and see how this sounds. This thing sounds nuts. Clearly all the bolts are gonna come off. I still have to adjust the amplifier. I'm gonna put the settings that Manny from Wet Sounds recommends. I'm gonna put that up here on the screen so you guys can check it out. If you guys found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna draw my tunes.